Hello everyone, and welcome back to Mrs. English channel. Today, we're diving into something truly exciting. How you can master English from home, one step at a time. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. Practice a little every day. When it comes to learning English or any language, the biggest mistake many learners make is trying to do too much all at once. They spend hours on one day studying grammar, memorizing vocabulary, or watching videos, and then they don't touch the language again for a week or even longer. This kind of intense but infrequent effort may feel productive at the moment, but it doesn't lead to long-term success. The real progress happens when you make English a part of your daily life, even if it's just for 10 or 15 minutes a day. Consistency builds habits, and habits create fluency. The human brain learns best through repetition and routine. When you practice something every day, your brain begins to recognize patterns and connections more easily. This process is much slower if your practice is irregular. For example, learning 5 new words every day will help you remember and use them much better than trying to learn 50 words once a week. By spacing out your learning, your brain has time to absorb and store the information in long-term memory. Daily practice also helps build confidence. When you engage with the language every day, it becomes less foreign to you. You start to recognize words automatically, understand phrases more naturally, and feel less afraid of making mistakes. Your mind becomes trained to think in English. You don't need to understand everything immediately. What matters is that you keep coming back to the language regularly. That slow but steady exposure is what creates real improvement. Another reason consistency works so well is that it keeps you emotionally connected to your goal. If you only study once in a while, it's easy to forget why you started learning English in the first place. You might lose motivation, get discouraged, or think you're not making any progress. But if you touch English every single day, even just by watching a short video or reading a few lines of text, it reminds you that you're on a learning journey. That daily connection fuels your commitment and keeps your purpose alive. You don't need a perfect environment or special tools to stay consistent. There are many simple ways to practice a little every day. You can change the language on your phone to English. You can describe your day out loud using simple sentences. You can listen to an English song and try to understand the lyrics. You can write a short journal entry or message in English. These activities don't require hours of free time. They just require a few minutes of focus and a willingness to make English a normal part of your day. One powerful trick to stay consistent is to create a routine that fits your lifestyle. For example, you can decide to practice English for 10 minutes every morning after breakfast, or listen to a podcast on your way to work. Maybe you choose to watch a short English video before bed. The important thing is not how much time you spend, but how regularly you do it. Once it becomes a habit, you'll do it automatically, just like brushing your teeth or checking your messages. Consistency also reduces stress and pressure. If you think you have to master English quickly, you might feel overwhelmed and give up. But when you allow yourself to grow little by little, you give your brain the chance to learn in a natural, relaxed way. You don't need to be perfect today. You just need to show up and do something, anything, in English. That steady, daily effort will take you farther than any big but rare burst of energy. Mistakes are proof of learning. Speak without fear. When learning English, one of the biggest obstacles many people face is the fear of making mistakes. This fear can be so strong that it prevents learners from even trying to speak at all. They worry about pronouncing words incorrectly, using the wrong grammar, or not being understood. But the truth is, mistakes are a natural and necessary part of learning any language. In fact, they are signs that you are actively trying, thinking, and pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone. If you are not making mistakes, it usually means you are not speaking enough, not practicing enough, or not challenging yourself. Language is a skill, just like playing a musical instrument or riding a bicycle. No one plays the piano perfectly the first time they try. No one rides a bike without falling a few times. Similarly, no one speaks a new language fluently without making errors. Those small slips and misunderstandings are not failures. They are essential steps on the path to fluency. Each mistake you make teaches you something. Maybe you learn a better way to form a sentence, or you discover a new word, or you realize how native speakers use a phrase differently. Every time you make a mistake and learn from it, you are improving. Many learners wait until they feel they can speak English perfectly before they open their mouths. But that moment never really comes. Perfection is not the goal. Communication is. If you can make someone understand you, even with grammar mistakes or a strong accent, then you are already successful. The more you speak, the more natural it becomes. Your pronunciation gets clearer, your grammar improves, and your vocabulary grows. But none of that happens if you stay silent. Silence is the real enemy of progress. Speaking, even imperfectly, is the only way to develop real speaking skills. When you speak without fear, you also build confidence. Confidence doesn't come from knowing all the rules. It comes from using the language and realizing that you can survive a conversation. You can ask for directions, order food, or introduce yourself. Even if you make a mistake, most people will still understand you, especially if they know you're learning. Most native English speakers are not focused on your mistakes. They are listening to your message. They respect your effort and often admire your bravery. There are many ways to create a safe environment for speaking. You can talk to yourself in English when no one is around. You can record your voice and listen to how you sound. You can practice with friends who are also learning, or join language exchange groups online. The goal is not to avoid mistakes, but to become comfortable with them. The more relaxed you feel about making errors, the more fluent you will become over time. Correcting your own mistakes is also part of the learning process. When you notice that something you said didn't sound right, or you hear a better way to say it, take note. You don't need to stop in the middle of a conversation to fix every word. Just keep a small notebook or use your phone to write down what you want to improve later. This reflection turns your mistakes into learning tools. It gives you a way to grow every day without feeling discouraged. Remember that every fluent English speaker was once a beginner. They all went through the same struggles, the same confusion, and the same fear. What made them fluent was not a special talent or perfect memory, but the willingness to try, fail, and try again. Mistakes are not something to be ashamed of. They are proof that you are doing the work. They show that you are taking risks, using what you've learned, and turning knowledge into skill. So never let the fear of making mistakes hold you back. Every word you mispronounce, every sentence you get wrong, is a powerful sign that you are learning, growing, and moving forward. Fluency is not built on perfection. It's built on courage. Speak up, stumble, and speak again. Your mistakes are not the end of your journey. They are the very steps that carry you towards success. Keep speaking, keep trying, and trust that every mistake you make is a brick in the foundation of your future fluency.